Quick message to the NT wives out there. You're very intuitive. You can almost figure out what somebody's thinking just by virtue of their facial expression. And if you, for example, have a child and your child needs something, you can fill in the missing information and know exactly what that child needs. They don't even necessarily have to tell you verbatim what they need. You can figure it out at an unconscious level just like that. Your husband doesn't have these intuitive skills. And you have assumed that he was just as intuitive as you. And that assumption has caused you more grief than anything else. You're assuming that your autistic husband is as intuitive as you and can figure things out as quickly and organically and almost at an unconscious level as well as you do. That has been your number one source of grief. So, message is this: he doesn't have the intuition that you do. And you have made a ton of false assumptions. I'm not important to him. He doesn't love me, doesn't care about me. His work's more important than I am. And you've made all of these evaluations and judgment calls. And I'm not saying he can never be insensitive, but the other 90% of the time, the stuff that you wanted to label as insensitivity and selfishness and narcissism and so on was directly the result of one of the traits of the disorder. And this isn't to get him off the hook, by the way. He's very much on the hook. You could pick some random person off the street with autism, and he has paid the price for having these traits.
Well, you need to provide something for me. In this case, you need to convince me that you want to be with me. That translates to me, you have to say and do certain things for me to be okay, because I've pissed my power away, and now you're in charge of my feelings, and I'm full-blown codependent. So please start reading my mind and my emotions so that you can fix my feelings.
So what I run into a lot in working with neurodiverse couples and the ASD spouses and the NT spouses is she, in this case the NT wife, she back in the day finds this guy who happens to be autistic. Maybe they don't know it at the time. And she really admires some of the traits that he exhibits. He seems very stoic and confident and secure, very grounded. And she is perhaps insecure, maybe had an abusive childhood, and is very vulnerable. And she finds this guy who seems to be her rock and maybe looks up to him at some level. And he brings her a lot of security. And then we fast forward, they get married, the marriage rolls on for a few years, and those same traits get labeled something else. He's unemotional, he's unfazed by problems in the relationship, he seems indifferent, it's like living with a hologram, he's emotionally unavailable. But wait a minute, those were the same traits that you admired in the early going of the relationship. So he can't win in this regard. You found him to be a very confident, steadfast, grounded individual in the beginning, but now those traits appear to you, I'm talking to the NT wives here, as he doesn't care about you. Yeah, there's something very wrong about that. Something very fishy going on here.